From Studio A in Texas, USA, welcome to In Wheel Time, your all things automotive car talk show. This hour, we go live with Michael Satterfield up at the Grosbeck Grand Prix, hopefully, for an update on opening day activities up there. We'll have new vehicle reviews of the Mercedes-Benz AMG GLS63. And later, the Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack. We also have this week's automotive news, our auto history segment, Conrad's Car Clinic, and more. Just ahead on the In Wheel Time Car Show for Saturday, September 5th, 2020.
I had to think about it. It's Labor Day weekend.
You know, Conrad was over here making fun of the fact that something always screws up at the beginning of the show. Now, I thought I did a really good job this week, and then here he is over here with his cell phone on, listening to the show, and I hear this, 5-second delay. So it ain't me.
Well, we need to make sure it's going out on the air.
Oh, for God's sakes. That's it. Yeah,
is checking the quality of our work.
That excuse didn't work for me either.
Hey, it's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, good. Well, we're off to a rocky start, and I got a feeling that the whole show's going to be that way this week.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. We'll do fine.
We'll see. Well, along with Mike out of this world Mars right down there in the blue shirt, and King Conrad DeLong here in the blue shirt, I'm Don Armstrong here in the blue shirt. And the funny thing about it is it was one of those deals where we didn't talk to each other before we all showed up today in blue shirts.
Great minds think alike.
No, not so much.
Well, we're glad to think you think we have great minds.
I didn't say that. I just said we think alike.
I think that there was something about great minds in it. Anyway, this is the car show of your dreams because we talk about all things automotive here. At least we try to. And we try to keep it semi-together and somewhat organized. And we'll see if all of that plays out today because it always manages to go off the rails at some point. I think last week, you had mentioned the fact and brought it back up that there was some conversation that we had with a fellow by the name of Weed. His last name was Weed. Well, it went way off the tracks with that, and you can only imagine, especially if you're our age, children of the 60s.
We've already got comments about Mars's new haircut.
Hey!
Woo! Heitzman says, nice haircut, and George is calling us the Blue Oreos.
The blue?
Well, no,
is that the blue-haired Oreos?
It's Blue Man Group.
Oh, the Blue Man Group.
Yeah, I think they've patented that.
Otherwise,
so
either that or the old Papa Smurfs.
That is perfect. Well, I just got off the phone. They are my witness with Gina Child-Knowles out at Houston Motorsports Park, asking her if tonight's circle track race up there is still on, and she said, yes, it is.
She said blue skies.
Really? Okay, well, I didn't hear that.
She posted that on Facebook.
Oh, she did? Okay, very good. I think that was from yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay.
Anyway, today is the Labor Day Classic. Adults $15, kids $5, and it's going to be this evening early. Gates open at 5 because it is Labor Day weekend. We want to get all the racing in before it gets too late. Last race that we had 3 weeks ago, I was at home at 10 after 10.
Seriously.
The race was done with at 9:30, and hey, man, it was great news because the funny thing about that is that people are used to. I keep hearing myself. Is that somebody whose phone is on over there?
Not me.
Okay. At any rate, the people go to an event, and at the event, it's like, geez, it's 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock. We got kids. Let's go home. I'm tired, all that. So Gina really makes it a point to try and get
you home at a reasonable hour,
yeah,
but give you a ton of fun at the track.
And the last race was spot on. Lots of people there, social distancing, masks. It's as safe as you can get it and have a ton of fun. And so dollar beer, actually they ran out of dollar beers. The kegs, right? So you get a cup of beer that big. Well, people were going, 10 deep. I'll take 10 of those dollar beers. take them back up to the stands. Everybody's having a $1 beers.
But they're probably taking them up to the stands and selling them for $2 a piece.
For those that don't know.
I don't want to walk all the way down.
Well,
right?
there's that. So I wanted to bring that up today. We're still working on getting hold of the Grosbeck folks. We're going to have that interview. But, I thought that I would throw this in to start off the show.
Uh-oh. This is unprepared.
Well, it's a story from Consumer Reports. Most satisfying cars by age group.
Most satisfying cars by age group.
Uh-huh.
So there's got to be a horsepower age relationship in here somewhere.
I didn't want to get too deep, but, I'll just read you the story. This is from Consumer Reports. You may not be driving your father's Oldsmobile.
Hey. That was such a successful ad campaign, they went out of business.
But the question is, what about your grandfather's Tesla? Huh? While every generation, millennials, Gen Xers, baby boomers, the silent generation, I didn't even know there was a thing called the silent generation, they're all unique. There's some overlap when it comes to the cars that satisfy their owners the most. All right. How do we know this? We asked Consumer Reports whether they would buy the same car again. That decision is the basis of our owner satisfaction score. And they say, we also look at how owners rate their cars on satisfaction in 5 different categories, blah, blah, blah. So, most satisfying cars for millennials. Because we all have, well, most of us have children that are millennials. I do. I got 2 of them. They happen to fall into that category. The oldest is 35. The youngest is 27.
My oldest is 33. My youngest is 31.
Okay.
She drives an Audi Q3, Rochelle does, and Austin drives a Nissan.
So what would you think number 10 would be on the list of 10?
For that millennial?
For the millennials.
Honda Accord.
Subaru Impreza.
Okay. I'll buy that.
I can see that. Most definitely.
Subaru, they present themselves as a very green, very friendly. They're very pet friendly.
Yep, all that.
But it's also a hot rod.
So here's one that's going to blow your mind. Number 9 for the millennials, the Honda Odyssey.
Well,
the van.
Why would they even have that?
Because those are busy millennials. At 33 and they got 6 kids.
That's it. Number 8, and it's funny because Honda seems to be very popular.
I would assume Honda would.
Number 8 would be the Honda Civic. No surprise there. Number 7, the Honda CR-V. That's their small SUV-ish thing. Number 6, the Ford F-150, Mr. Mars.
I totally believe that.
For the millennial.
Yep, I totally believe
the Ford
that.
F-150. So probably, I would guess, that would be the husband's truck.
Well, I've got 12 salesmen, and I've got 8 millennials working for me, and 3 of them have F-150s.
Yeah.
Well, you think, the F-150 is the biggest selling truck in the country. And so you figure maybe generations. I mean, that's kind of what you got. The first truck I bought was a Ford. It was the last Ford I bought.
The only truck that I ever had was a 1955 Chevrolet. And I bought that thing in 1980. And I had it for a couple of years. And it was my transition to a second car while I was working on the 77 Corvette. So it got me around town. It's a total pain, but it made it work. It had
that had to be without air conditioning.
Oh, no, no. It had an under-the-dash hanging air conditioner, all this aftermarket stuff, including a fairly late model at the time, V8 Chevy engine. Okay, moving on. Number 5, the number 5 car for millennials, according to Consumer Reports, would be the Subaru Forester. Really?
Again, the Subaru thing, though. Again,
it's the Subaru
when
thing.
you watch Subaru advertise on TV, they definitely advertise to the millennial group.
And the Forester is more, well, today's Forester is more of an SUV. Back then, the used market wagon.
Very, very wagon.
But it's all very much a lifestyle. It's
Correct.
still what they're pushing.
Correct.
And
it's kind of like the forerunner, per se, of the Jeep lifestyle, without it being a Jeep, you know.
I would say Jeep was probably a lifestyle before Subaru was, but yeah.
Well, there's no doubt about it. But as far as affordability, probably the used Forester would be a little bit more affordable for a millennial than a Jeep. Anyway, number 4, the Honda Accord. That really doesn't kind of surprise me very much because these millennials probably rode in the back of mom and dad's Honda Accord.
Well, and again, Honda, pretty good car, pretty dependable car.
It is, but maintenance of the Honda Accord.
Wow.
I actually owned, we owned a Honda Accord at one time back in about 90. And that
was a different car.
It was the hot car. Everybody was going to that. And, but the maintenance, oh my God, it killed me. To keep up with it, change the timing belt and all of this stuff at under 35,000 miles. You got to be kidding. Really?
we bought one in 2002. We were living in San Antonio, and we were coming down here every weekend. So we were punching 20, 25,000 miles. I wanted something that was known. And you're right. I mean, we did all the maintenance on it on the timetable so that it would last. When I gave it to one of the grandkids, I mean, it was pushing 250,000, and
as long as you
rocking.
did the maintenance, I mean, the thing would last a million
Yes,
miles.
sir.
But
Absolutely.
the maintenance would kill you.
Remember, Mac DeLop said he had bought that one with 1 million miles.
Yeah, 1 million miles,
and it was on the showroom floor at his dealership.
Yeah,
and he said it still looked great, but the guy kept up on the maintenance. But
the maintenance is not cheap. It's kind of like a Ferrari. Buy the Ferrari.
Well,
but the
it's not nearly that expensive.
But you get the idea.
Honda does their maintenance a little bit different because in their driver information center, they've got an A, B, a C maintenance. It's not really mileage driven. It's driven off of that thing in the dash that tells you when to do stuff.
So, number 3 of the most satisfying car list of 10 for millennials, the Mazda Cx-5.
That's a surprise.
It is and it isn't, because the Mazda Cx-5 is kind of like their midsize SUV.
But it's a sporty-looking
It
ride.
is, and it is sporty.
More of a hot hatch looking thing than an SUV.
It's SUV.
I know it's an SUV, but it's sporty enough to kind of view as a hot hatch.
To appeal to that level. Right.
And here we go again. The number 2 most satisfying car for millennials, drum roll, the Subaru Ascent. Are you kidding me?
They don't sell that many to be the number 2. The Subaru Ascent, how weird is that?
Well, they have data on more than 420,000 vehicles from Consumer Reports owner satisfaction surveys. I'm just reading it.
I would not
not judging. And the number 1 most satisfying vehicle for millennials, totally no surprise, the Tesla Model 3. Okay, you can afford that? Go for it.
Yeah. This is the future of our country.
Well, but there's a bit of a theme in there as well, is, they're looking for something that's fuel economical, dependable, environmentally conscious. Because when you look at what there's 3 or 4 Subarus in that list, and Subaru presents themselves as being very environmentally conscious. So they're marketing to the right people, because at some point, if you're marketing to 75-year-old people, you run out of people. That was Oldsmobile's problem.
They ran out of people.
Yeah. Last time buyer program.
Yep.
And when you look at most marketing, they are looking for that 18 to 30-year-old market is where they want to be.
Everybody's looking for that market.
Well,
but what's surprising about it, the 18 to 30-year-old market does not have the kind of money that the 35 to 55 market does.
But apparently Subaru and Honda do a damn good job of it, and Tesla as well. And that's why Tesla came out with the Model 3, was trying to bring that price under $100,000.
Trying to get into their post-college
And the fact that
budget.
And the fact that, with that 7-year financing, you can keep the payments, if you're a couple especially, affordable.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd call it affordable.
You can't say affordable, but if you that's really part of the sales pitch to new vehicles nowadays is, what do you want your payment to be? It's not about paying for it. It's about what do you want your payment to be.
Yeah, you can keep,
and we'll get you there. Don't worry about paying it off. It's almost like rent.
Yeah.
You're renting that vehicle, and then you get another one.
You can keep your vehicle long enough where your second grader goes into high school.
and
make
still be
payments
paying on it.
There you go.
Oh, my God. I was going to say, so, Mars, how do you know about this? Apparently you've bought somebody some cars at one point or another.
I got kids.
He's got kids, yeah. Well,
you've bought a couple of cars for your kids.
I have. Well, yeah.
Your girls?
But thank God they're not on that pocketbook anymore.
No.
Yeah, no. I mean, mine are standing, but I've watched them do some things, and I've, get caught up into that. Well, I need a new car. Well, you want a new car.
Get a job.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're doing well and paying for it, but it's just they've got into that cycle. And as they've gotten older, particularly the oldest girl, and she's got one of hers is in college at UT, and now she's paying for that, she's realizing, okay, so there is a little bit better way. I don't have to have the newest of everything immediately.
And I have both worlds with that, because Austin, living in San Francisco, he went 5 years without a car and just recently bought himself a Nissan Rogue.
Well,
a used Nissan Rogue.
But they have public transportation there if you need it.
But Rochelle, she's got to have a newer car every 3 years. So now she's in a 2018 Audi.
Well, Rochelle lives in Sonoma Valley, so let's just leave that there.
And part of that depends. I mean, she's got to have a certain. She's got to have a certain look. I mean, she's got to look successful to be part of. I have an uncle. My uncle used to be a stockbroker. And so he made sure he dressed successful. He drove the nice cars successful. I mean, that was just part of the job. Which you want to appeal to people.
There's a visual to that.
Yes, yes. You need to be successful. You got to appear to be successful so that people believe you're successful and you can do it.
So my personal car is a 2004 GMC Yukon. So I guess I'm not too successful.
Well, I just moved up, so I got out of my 2003 Ram truck. I'm now in a 2015 Ram truck.
And what's Don have?
A 2001 old Corvette.
Oh, but that's still a good-looking Corvette.
It is.
But it's still, it has no Bluetooth. It has no, GPS satellite radio. It doesn't have navigation.
But unlike you, your Corvette's low mileage.
So you got to take that into consideration as well.
I don't mind taking abuse. I'm used to it at this point in my life.
You usually have to pay extra for it.
But don't pick on my car.
Oh, just go ahead and pick on anything. I don't care. I'm tough. I can handle it.
Yeah, but your Corvette is not a DD. You've got other things to drive as your daily driver, but because that's why the Corvette sits out there under
DD.
That's
Did you catch that?
I got it. I heard it.
The DD.
It's a technical term, I guess.
The daily driver. Mm-hmm. So, is that one of those things that you people that are in the auto industry currently? That's a common term?
Yes, it's quite the common term.
The DD.
The
daily driver. Mm-hmm. As opposed to what? There's the DD, and then you have what?
The beater.
The beater.
the proverbial beater is a 1963 Plymouth Valiant 225 inline six-cylinder.
Slant six
with a push-button automatic. The proverbial beater.
You
can't destroy one of those.
Well, let me tell you something. If you could find one of those, it would be a collector's item. Well, seriously. Who wouldn't want... back in the day, it's like, ooh, God, who wants that?
Nobody wanted it, but that's why they lasted so long.
Now, I bet you could get depending on its condition. You could get darn good money for that car.
And think on that list you just went over for the millennials, what car on there 30 years from now is still going to be desirable?
Well, it's not going to be my next car review, which is going to be the Mercedes-Benz AMG GLS63 with the bi-turbo. I got that coming up next. Hey, be sure and join us each and every Saturday for our live show, 10 a.m. to noon on our website, inwheeltime.com, and we may have a little surprise announcement for you regarding that a little bit later on. We're also on Facebook and YouTube. And if you're not able to join us during our live broadcast, no worries. You make sure and catch our podcasts on your favorite podcast channel. In Wheel Time continues after this quick break.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
A social distancing tip.
While the CDC urges you to avoid close contact, like hugging or shaking hands, there are other non-physical ways to say hello. Wave, wink, use sign language, salute, smile, give the peace sign, throw up an air high five, do jazz hands. Remember, stay a minimum of 6 feet or 2 arms length away from others and stay home if you can. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Oh, if you only knew what was going on in the studio while you were away.
Work.
Yeah. So
Is that what it
we
was?
have an update on Mr. Satterfield's report from the Grosbeck Grand Prix that he can't get cell phone coverage because everybody that's there, and apparently there's a full house. It's
They
a
sold
sellout.
out.
They sold out. Yeah.
So when that happens, cell phone towers go, wait a minute, we're only built for 100,000 signals, where as opposed to 200,000 signals.
Wait, this is
Yeah.
Grosbeck, Texas. They're only built for maybe 500.
The principle's there, though. I mean, we've got caught like that out at the Lone Star Throwdown.
We have.
To where it just shut the whole airport down.
Correct. Yeah, it shut everything. So anyway, we're not going to have him. Sorry. It was a sellout up there at Grosbeck Grand Prix. But we'll have him maybe next week and give us a post
And our
report.
friend Richard Tomlin's up there. They're running some cars as well. So should be a lot of fun.
Okay, time now for this hour's car review. We got the 2021 Mercedes-Benz AMG GLS63 SUV, all-wheel drive. You're going to go, what?
AWD.
AWD. Available trim levels, none. This is a one-off car for this particular thing that I just told you. Reviewed trim level, again, it's only one. It's a full-size or a large SUV, 3 rows, seats up to 7 people. It was completely redesigned for 2020. Exterior features. Big grille, as you can see, with pinstripe vertical ribs and big Mercedes-Benz emblem. The rear hatch and lights kind of remind me of the Jeep Grand Cherokee a little bit.
Just a little.
The one that I had murdered out black 23-inch aluminum wheels, and I'm going to tell you how much those cost in a minute. Sculpted doors. What I liked about it, the understated, luxurious appearance of this thing. You can tell it's wearing those pinstripes well. What could use improvement? You ready? The fuel filler door. What? The fuel filler door. Yes.
He's got to find something.
It should be on an independent circuit, because if you get out of the car and you lock the car door, like here in Houston, Texas, we're taught to do, because you don't want somebody getting in your car while you're filling up with gas and getting in the car and stealing the car or whatever you got in it. Well, if the car doors are locked, so's the fuel filler door.
Ah.
I know that may
Locks
sound like a little,
everything.
it locks everything, and there's no independent button to pop open the fuel filler door. So there you go, Mercedes-Benz, direct from the In Wheel Time Review Center. Interior highlights: horizontal, 2.5 inch, 2.5 feet, 2.5 feet.
Big difference.
Of horizontal screen right in front of the driver that slams all the way over
the passenger. Yeah,
it's one big fat screen.
Pretty cool looking, though.
Instrument cluster and infotainment controls on one screen. Grab handles on the doors and the center console, which was unique, and it looks really good. Plush, leather surfaces, and high-bolstered, adjustable front seats.
Gorgeous.
It is gorgeous, absolutely. Cargo trunk room, plenty of room for a family of 4 with luggage, steamer-sized. What I liked about the quiet cabinness, I'm going to tell you about that cabinness. Did you like that? The quiet cabinness? Mm-hmm. What could use improvement? Absolutely nothing there. 4-liter. Twin-turbo V8, 603 horsepower with that bi-turbo, 627 pound-feet of torque, transmission 9-speed automatic. Miles per gallon, well, this particular one was not rated yet. It was that ute.
Yeah, because it had 600 horsepower.
Actually,
do you really worry about miles per gallon at 600 horses?
Hey, 600
Pass everything but a gas station.
I got 18.1 miles per gallon over 374 miles.
It's actually pretty good.
What I liked about it, power. What could use improvement? Nothing. Ride and handling, AMG user-selected ride control. It's called Dynamic Select from them. Nothing could use improvement there. Okay, so price is tested. Well, before I get to that, I did want to read a few things off of the Monroney here, which is the window sticker for most people. You ready? So it had the carbon fiber trim for $1,590. The carbon fiber engine cover was $1,500. The AMG performance steering wheel in carbon fiber was $900. The AMG 23-inch murdered out monoblock forged wheels in matte black were $5,000 option.
Wow.
Yeah. And you made it mention of, man, look at those wheels. Yeah, $5,000.
They were gorgeous.
$5,000 extra.
They weren't that gorgeous.
Mbux technology package, and I'm going to get all the details. Mbux stands for Mercedes-Benz User Experience. That was $1,500, and the DBB energizing package plus that include air balance package with fragrance and energizing package code. $550. It had an air freshener in the glove box, which I thought was pretty cool.
One of the things you had talked about when you had the car, though, is the level of technology was advanced.
It has got everything, including the kitchen sink, digitally.
And an air freshener.
And an air freshener in the glove box.
And it would take you some time to learn all of the features as an owner to use all of them and practice how to get to all of them.
So, price is tested. $149,160.
Yeehaw.
That sounds like the price is right. Base model price, $132,000.
Well, that's a deal. $17,000 worth of upgrades
on a $130,000 car.
Competitors. I had to kind of rummage through and figure out what would be a competitor. Bentley Bentayga for $175,000. Rolls-Royce Cullinan, $330,000, or the Lexus LX570 to bring it down to, well, some semblance of what you would think is $86,580. So that's the review of the Mercedes-Benz AMG GLS63.
Sounds like a heck of a vehicle.
At a heck of a price. And I would highly recommend it. But if you want the latest, if you're a techno geek,
that's a car for you.
This is the car for you.
If you're a wealthy techno geek.
Coming up, the car calendar and the racing calendar on In Wheel Time.
911, what's your emergency?
There's a train that just hit a car.
Sir, what is your location? Look around for a street sign, sir.
It's 8th and Orchard. 8th and Orchard.
Okay, very good. 8th and Orchard. Sir, help is on the way.
Why would he do that? The train still hasn't stopped. You have to get there now.
At a railway crossing, even if the engineer sees you and hits the brakes, it can take a mile for the train to stop. And for you, that's too late. Stop. Trains can't. Paid for by NHTSA.
Hey, I wanted to tell you about tonight's Advance Auto Parts Labor Day Classic at Houston Motorsports Park. Gates open at 5. The flyover and the green flag start at 6 o'clock. This is asphalt racing at its finest, and it is a good time to be had by all. $1 beer, $1 hot dogs, $1 Cokes. Listen.
Be there.
Yeah, $15 for adults, $5 for kids. It is tons of fun.
And a buck of beer.
And what?
And a buck of beer.
A buck of beer, yeah. I
That's
said
a
that,
steal.
didn't I? Did I miss that? Yeah, okay. So at any rate, it's tonight, Houston Motorsports Park off of North Lake Houston Parkway. We invite you to go and check it out. I think that you're going to have a good time. All right, time now for the car calendar and the racing calendar, and Conrad has that.
Next Sunday on the 13th, Prince's Hamburger down off of the Sharpstown Golf Course from 11 to 1 p.m. On the 26th of September, Woody's second annual Waterfront Car Show at Topwater Grill in San Leon. Also on September 26th, on the north side, Lake Church annual Car and Bike Show in Montgomery, Texas. And then Klein Band fundraiser at Klein High School from 9 to 12 p.m. On the 10th of October. Racing, the Cotton Bowl is off until the 19th. The 105 Speedway has got races on the 12th. Gulf Coast Speedway has got races on the 12th. And Texana Speedway in Edna has got races on the 19th. Tomorrow is the Italian Grand Prix in Monza, and there'll be a follow-up to that when we talk automotive news or automotive history. Darlington is tomorrow. Road Atlanta for IMSA is tomorrow, and NHRA, the Big Go at Indianapolis is this weekend as well.
Thank you, sir. If you got something to share with us, let us help you. Just send the stuff to info@inwheeltime.com or through the In Wheel Time Facebook page. Complaints? Call Craftsman Tools and tell them In Wheel Time says they suck.
Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com.